we have a new issue.
A new issue? Well, that's good news.
Yes.
Let me zero in on that.
This is the new issue. Hot off the presses. You're going to get the criminals. If you do the crime, you're going to do the time.
It's an old saying.
An old saying, yes. Law and order we have become. We're asking the prosecutors to have law and order. Why would you bust people smoking pot when you can get murderers, mass murderers?
Because they bash back, that's why.
Not anymore. They don't have any power anymore. Did you hear what happened to Bush in Canada? They had to smuggle them in.
Really?
There were so many protesters. They had to smuggle them out. It was really cool.
He did go there and got back out, huh?
He went there. He got back out. There was a woman that was trying to get the Canadian government to arrest them for war crimes.
I heard that, yeah.
And everywhere they go, Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld and Rice and all of those people that are mass murderers, we ought to do the same thing. If they come to Portland, we ought to be outside. We ought to have pickets outside. We ought to have some really good activists like Code Pink inside. Maybe with bloody hands, standing in front of them, pointing our finger at them and calling them murderers.
Let it go.
Everywhere they go.
Right.
Hey, not to interrupt Joe, but what was he saying?
He said, let it go.
Oh, let it go.
Let it go. The mass
Let it
murderers.
go. Let Charlie Manson go.
Yeah. Free Bundy! Bring back Bundy! Bundy only killed a couple hundred!
Got a paper?
No, but I just want to say...
Oh, it's brand new paper. You licked it.
And you're welcome for the rights that veterans give you to do this.
Oh yeah!
Because that's why you can do this, is because of veterans years past.
We all veterans.
I believe you. So am I. So am I.
I spent 9 years in the Navy.
21 years in the Navy here.
Okay, I got out and fought against the Vietnam War in 16 years. No, I'm sorry. And 70. And we fought that against that war. And now we're fighting against this one.
I just hope you're reminding veterans, other veterans like me, that you're not against them.
No. Oh, no.
And that's important for them to know.
Okay, sweetie, thanks.
You're right about that. It's a good point to let them know.
Veterans for peace.
Yep.
So we all
Yeah. It's just, and like I tell people, I wish I were out of a job. I'm a veteran service officer.
Yeah.
I wish I was out of a job, because that would mean we're not making more veterans.
Right,
Nice.
exactly right. That's why we're so involved in this law and order type issue.
Yep.
Because they're making veterans, and not only that, they're breaking them too.
Yep.
And they're not doing it in a legal or just cause.
Right.
And that is unconscionable. Unconscionable.
And I totally understand what you said, and that's why in my off time I work with some of the groups I do.
Right on. Who are you up with?
Well, have you ever heard of a gentleman who runs a newspaper called Walking Wounded?
Walking Wounded?
That sounds familiar.
Well, there's a Wounded Warrior program. This gentleman's out of Wilsonville. He lives in Wilsonville, and he writes the paper himself. But it's called Walking Wounded, and it's mostly to do with PTSD and mental health issues.
Right on. Are you familiar with soldiersheart.org? That's Sean Lewis. He's one of ours.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, it's amazing. You look so much like him, I would say you'd be related. It's
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Yeah, sure. New issue.
Thank you. Do you get paid to do this?
Oh, I'd be rich.
It'd be nice if this was a Jane Picklery in Congress doing her.
And the criteria do not exist anymore.
Nope.
So it's totally illegal, but nobody's got the balls to take it into federal court.
And that's beyond a line item type,
Yeah.
executive powers type
Yeah, it's
thing.
got to be in the Supreme Court. It's got to go to the Supreme Court. But she goes on this hunger strike for 40 days, right? And then she does stand in front of the Capitol, hands out literature 24/7 sometimes. She's a mother.
I filmed her down there one day. She was handing out stuff left and right. And she'd been up all night and day on a hunger strike. It's just...
Nationally. going on.
Yeah.
You know, when you sign up, I think if I signed up for the National Guard, they would fight fire. You know, they get what I call the popsicle people off the mountains. People that are...
And if anything happened here,
That's right. A flood, a fire, people in
An
trouble.
invasion.
That's what I signed up for.
Okay, go ahead. You guys got some announcement here.
One of the things that we're thinking of doing is once again going before the city council and not ask them to do any drastic thing like if Bush or Cheney came here to arrest them. We're not going to ask them for that. We're just going to ask them to do a resolution that says, in effect, that if you violate the Constitution or the Geneva Convention in dealing with prisoners and you're involved in torture, you're not welcome in Portland, Oregon. You're not welcome here. Just to do a little simple resolution and let them know that we don't like people that torture children. We don't like people that kill children. We don't like people that torture women. We don't like people that lie. Just a little resolution, and so we'll be going before them and do the 3 minutes, and of course they won't respond to us. But the seeds will be there. And we'll say to them, we're not asking you to do this really brave thing to arrest the son of a bitches if they ever come here. Just do a little resolution that says, we don't like criminals that torture prisoners. We don't like that.
You want them to go on the record.
On the record saying, stand for the Constitution of the United States, and we stand for the Geneva Convention, and we stand for all of the treaties that have to do with dealing with occupation. Because we've been occupying Iraq now for 5 years. Over 5 years we've been occupying it. There is no war in Iraq. It's an occupation. And there are specific rules that an occupying force must follow. And we're asking the city council, maybe next week, week after, and I'm sure they'll just be excited to see us, just to do a little resolution, just a little bit, and say, we don't like war criminals. Don't come to our city. Stay away.
Are you proposing to do this like on a Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday when you go before the city council with the 3 minutes, and I'll probably either do it, set it up online, or I'll go down and see them. One way or the other, Malcolm and I will go. We'll do our 3 minute plea to the city council. Now, other communities and other cities and other towns have passed resolutions saying similar things.
Oh.
You know, please just stay away. You know, we can't force you to stay away, but you're just not welcome here. You know, we're not going to use our police force to protect you. So you're on your own.
An official, you're not welcome.
Yeah, just, you know, like sometimes they have this no sit and no lying down law, you know, and they say to people, well, you know, you're welcome in Portland, but you can't sit down. So we figure if they can do that, they could say to war criminals who have massacred hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people, women and children, innocent people, bomb people, use phosphorus on children. Maybe they could just say, we don't like you, stay away. You know, you just smell off our city. You stink it, you make it stinky.
So this is middle of March here. I could look for something like you guys be doing this within the next couple weeks?
Yeah,
is that what I'm thinking?
Weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There'll be 3 of us, Malcolm, Chadwick, Joe, and then me, Glenn Owen. Before I leave, I'd actually like to talk a little bit about Cascadia Public Radio.
Yeah.
Among other things, the public broadcasting now charges for their archives. So I joined. I'm getting the archives, and in particular, the Global Research News Hour with Michelle Chossudovsky and Steve Lendman.
Say that name again there.
Michelle Chossudovsky and Stephen Lendman. Excellent interviews of amazing people.
And they're up on Cascade Public Radio?
Well, that's the way to look it up. It's on Radio for all net, but Cascadia Public Radio will get you there to all the archives. There's some other things as well. Something I'm experimenting with. I do a low quality compressed recording of all of KBOO's news and public affairs, morning and evening.
Now, are you? How do we find that?
Cascadia Public Radio, one long word.